everybody, welcome back to the shop. So, a while back, my wife, well, let me back up a little bit. Some of you know, some of you don't. I have a sawmill out in the back, 40 back there, and I make a lot of my own lumber, gather the logs, cut them up. Well, a while back, my wife asked me to make this crazy farm-style, old rustic-style headboard for our bedroom. And I didn't think it would be too interesting to show you how I did that, but in a nutshell, I ran a couple of 2x4 slabs across this way on the wall, 16 on center this way, and then we laid the boards up, horizontal, up the bottom to the top, till it created the headboard. Now, of course, once you make the headboard, you got to have matching nightstands. So we're going to take this old weathered wood that's been laying out by my sawmill, and we're going to create some side tables, nightstands, whatever you'd like to call them, out of this stuff. So stick with me. Let's get started.
Here we see me drawing a professional blueprint, figuring out the width, height, 4 to 6 inches tall. This is just a concept drawing really, but I'm sure I could take it to any architect and have it stamped as grade A blueprints. Not really. It's just to keep me on the right track. We're going to put a French cleat in the back of this thing.
Cover up the end grain as much as we can. Let's see what we got. This one here. These are your sides. These are your sides. Now this has to be pulled in from the back in order to accommodate the French cleat and have these guys land on the wall. So we'll pull this forward, put our 2x4 French cleat behind that. This is your face. That'll go on the front there. That'll cover up these end grains. Unfortunately, these will be out, but I'll grade them up so they don't stick out so bad. But where these side tables, whatever we're calling these things, are, you won't be able to see that anyway. Because this will be next to the bed, this will be really close to a wall. So now we'll put our slots on the top, make some crazy legs that don't really do much of anything. Let's keep going.
I grabbed these two blocks of 2x4 to set inside the box to give me the depth to show me where the back bar or backboard will sit. These are obviously not the French cleat I'm going to use. They're just spacers. So when I set this piece in, I know how far to recess it. As I began playing with this, I realized it'd be easier if those two chunks of wood didn't move around while I was trying to put this in place. So we got a couple of clampy-doos here, and we're going to temporarily lock these three pieces of wood together so I can get an accurate mark.
Okay, folks, it's always fun when you're doing these kind of projects, when you figure something out on the fly. Remember I said I didn't want to have this shown or it wouldn't matter? Well, if I make those crazy legs cover this up, come up to this top, surface mount them, goodbye end grain, that works for me. Another little tip when you're doing these, and you're going to cover these with slats from the top all the way back. Start in the front so that you can butt join them all the way back. That way when you get to the back one, you can cut it off to the proper thickness and put that cut, that clean cut, against the wall and nobody will see it. Let's keep going.
Now here we got a cat litter pan. Not really. I wanted to show you the spalting on the lumber that I'm going to use on the top. Now I cut these strategically. It doesn't look like much right there, but when you take the next one and you sort of book match it, it creates a pretty neat design on the top. And I cut the next two to do the same thing. Took a little bit of thinking, or thunking, but we got her done. Now I use a lot of pallet wood for my projects, and I gather up the old nails and I let them rust, and I keep them in this, well, it's a drawer from a plastic filing cabinet, but in any case I try to find the ones that have the rustiest heads on them, and I try to whack them in here. Now this is not the proper way to do this, and I'm going to show you why. That nail just turned in my fingers, so don't do that. I'll show you how to make the right way to put them in. So here is the proper way to do this with a drill bit. Drill a pilot hole through the top layer. Don't go into the bottom wood, you don't need to. And then take your nail and set it through the pilot hole. There should be little to no resistance on the nail passing through. And as you're going to see, that nail will go right straight in with a few whacks of the hammer. The pilot hole acts as a guide to keep them straight. Nothing to it. Okay folks, I'm going to do the best I can to explain a French cleat system. You have this angle, which is a 45, and the opposing angle, this one, which is also a 45. One will slip up in here, where I'm showing you. The other one will sit on the wall, screwing in through here. When that's located on the wall, that will engage that and create a locking mechanism to hold whatever you'd like, a picture, a shelf, a bookshelf, anything on the wall. Here's a better view to show you how the lock works. This will slide down and engage the other one. There you have a French cleat system. Whenever you're working with old twisted wood, it's going to create problems. Right there the cleat was sticking out and I just didn't like it. So we grab a bar clamp and we use a hillbilly pry bar method. We're going to put this clamp underneath here, and then I'm going to use the handle of my hammer to twist that thing into the position I want. Once I get everything in the right spot, where I can use the hammer as a pry bar, seat it, and drive the screw home.
Okay folks, moment of truth, putting this polyurethane on here. We're using this water-based stuff. I'm not sponsored by these guys because I don't want to have to smell poly, the oil-based stuff, curing when this is sitting next to my head. Man, how that spalting pops when you put the poly on it. Very, very happy. This wood is very dry, so it's going to take 2 or 3 coats minimum before this water-based stuff stops going in. Sometimes my wife's crazy ideas do work out. Don't tell her I said that. I gotta plug these holes yet. Not going to use glue on those holes because if for some reason this loosens up, I want to be able to tighten those screws. There's going to be a lot of pressure and a lot of tension on that back side. So. No, I didn't forget to put the plugs in. So I'll get this done, then I'll take you into the bedroom in there and we'll show you what kind of contraption we come up with. Stay tuned, guys. Okay, everybody, here we are in the bedroom. Here's this wall, this crazy wall that my wife asked me to produce. I was kind of against it in the beginning, but now that I see it, I'm like, she was right. Again, these lights she had me put in here are dimmable. Dimmable? Kind of like me, dimmable. On and off, they will go right down to nothing and come back on. And over here is the nightstand that we were making in the shop now to complement this project. Now, let me show you how the French Cleat works. Off of here. Basically, you can lift this thing off and slide it right back on, and it locks in place. That's the beauty of a French Cleat. Alright, now, over here on the other side, just for point of reference and so that you guys might remember this deal here, we called this thing a tablet Scorpion. And he's in a previous video. And it was designed so that my wife or I could lay in bed on our backs without twisting our necks and spin this thing around and in any position read our tablet. This thing it's multiple articulating movements. You can put it in any position you want, and that's in an earlier video. I'll try to leave a link to that one in the description below, but there it is, folks. The old barnwood wall headboard, if you will, that my wife asked for. I hope she's happy with it. I hope you got something out of this video. I hope you liked the video. Please like and subscribe.